Hey, it's Jacqueline, and I want to talk to you about taking the big step from getting your permit to actually driving the car. And there are 10 things that you can do inside your car, safely parked on the side of the street or in a parking spot, before you actually start driving, that will help make you feel more comfortable once you're out on the road. So let's think about the 10 things you can do to position yourself and to get comfortable so you have a better understanding of the car now that you are actually in the driver's seat. So the first thing I want you to think about is that when you're seated, you can't see outside the car. There's so many spots that you just don't have visibility of. Nobody can see up and over the hood, and nobody can see the tires once they're seated. So I just want you to be curious and notice what you can see and what you can't see. Now, I want you to make sure that your seat is adjusted properly. And properly means comfortable. It also means position for safety. So I'm playing with this seat right now, and I scooted myself way back too far. I'd have to stretch out my legs to reach the pedals. Now I'm gonna play a little more, and I scoot forward, and I feel myself getting cramped up all the way too close to the steering wheel. And then I find that sweet spot. And you're gonna find the sweet spot that is comfortable for you, that helps you feel upright and prepared for action. It's also important to think about adjusting the back of the seat. If I put this seat too far forward, awkwardly close, I don't have enough room to have a range of motion when I'm steering. And if I put this seat too far back, I'm too relaxed. I don't have the same visibility, and I'm not taking a nap, so not a good driving position. And what I want you to experience is that sweet spot in the middle where you feel upright so that you have good visibility, your legs are comfortable, your foot is positioned, your right foot is positioned so that you can pivot from brake to gas. Good job. Now I want you to think about adjusting the steering wheel. There's a lot you can do to adjust the wheel. You can move it up and down and in and out. And I want you to adjust the steering wheel so that it's perfect for you, so that your hands can rest at 9 and 3 and you can be really comfortable. You're always going to remember to put on your seatbelt. You're always going to put on your seatbelt before you turn on the car. Make that a habit. Once the car's on, I want you to start thinking about the mirrors and how you can adjust the mirrors. So now you can see better everything that's behind you. And let's do the same thing. Let's play ridiculously. I'm gonna turn the mirror up and around, and then I lower it, and now I can only see like if there was somebody in my back seat. But if I position the mirror perfectly, it frames the back window, and the only thing that's blocked are the right and left corners from the headrests. The mirror is level and horizontal, so when I'm driving, I can just flick my eye up and see everything behind me. And you're gonna know that sweet spot when you see it. Next, I'm gonna work on the right mirror. And I look back in the rearview mirror, I notice everything I can see behind me. And then I look in the right mirror and I see it picks right up. I see a white car in the distance in my rearview mirror, and I see that same car in the right mirror, but it looks much smaller and farther away. That's a really good reminder that objects in the mirror are farther than they seem. Don't ever forget that. The rear view mirror gives you the most accurate sense of the distance of things behind you. I'm going to play with the right mirror, and I want you to play too. Be curious about the size of the car, what you can and can't see, and play with your seat and your mirrors until you find that sweet spot for comfort. So I'm going to put the right mirror all the way down. I see too much ground. I'm going to put it all the way up, and I see too much sky. And then I'm going to drop it down so I can only see about half of the front door handle. And all of a sudden I see that I have a long horizontal view. I can see all the way down the sidewalk to the right, and I can see my position from the curb, which is important for me when I'm parking. So that looks good. Let's go to the left mirror and let's just play. Push all the way up and I see a beautiful blue sky, and push all the way down and I see the asphalt. And then I find that sweet spot, which for me is when I can't see the front door handle anymore. Then I see a nice horizontal view, and I know that between the rear view mirror and the side mirrors, I can see everything behind me. But you know what I can't see? And that's the next thing you're going to work on, checking your blind spot. Make sure you know what you can see and what you can't see. You can't see what's right next to you. So just sit and practice looking from the mirror to the blind spot, and notice again what you see and what you can't see. And let's do it to the left. Mirror and blind spot. Noticing the difference in my view for every time I look. Now we're going to add the turn signals. And from the safety of our car, we can practice if we were really going to make a right or left lane change. If we were really going to make a right lane change, we would look in the rear view mirror, put on our turn signal, continue to the right mirror, and then the blind spot, and then back to the road. Let's try that again. Mirror, signal, mirror, blind spot, and back to the road. Let's try it on the left. Mirror, turn signal, mirror, blind spot, and back to the road. And you can practice that over and over again, making the movements really smooth, practicing your sweeping glance to the right and your sweeping glance to the left, from the midline of the car to a 45-degree angle, and then to the side to make sure that you've checked all your spots before you moved. The other things you want to do before you leave the curb or your parking spot is practice rotating the steering wheel. Make sure you have an understanding of how you're going to turn the wheel. Turning to exit a parking spot, you might just turn at an angle to get a 45-degree angle out of your spot going forward. If you're making a left turn, you're going to have to turn the wheel more to get around the curve. If you're making a right turn, you're going to turn the wheel to the right to get around the corner. If you're doing a slight curve to the left, you're just going to move the wheel a little bit. And if you're doing a slight curve to the right, you're going to move the wheel a little bit. Sit in the car in the safety of your parking spot and just play with the wheel and get an understanding of how the wheel moves. And that will help you feel more comfortable once you're out on the road. The last thing I want you to do before you think about exiting is understanding how wide your traffic scan has to be. When you're driving down the road, you have to keep your eyes on the road, and you also have to stay aware of everything right and left. With these 10 tips and getting really comfortable in your car, you'll be ready to pull away from the curb and keep everybody safe. Thanks for spending this time learning.